Hi, my name is Victor with SpiceGnome.com and welcome to Spice and Advice. Today we're going to be making the best meatloaf in the world. My husband Doug had a cousin, Judy, who was the nicest person in the world. But not only was she the nicest person in the world, she had the best recipe for meatloaf. It's savory, it's sweet, it's delicious. So what I did is I took the recipe, I tweaked it a little bit, and I made it my own. And that's what we're going to do today. I have the oven on at 350, and let's start. The ingredients for the meatloaf are, for the meatloaf, 1.5 pounds of ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork, 1 cup of onion chopped, half a cup of green peppers chopped, 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs, half a cup of water, 3/4 cups of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of beef bouillon, and 2 eggs. The ingredients for the sauce are 1 cup of ketchup, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of water, and 1.5 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. For this meatloaf, we're gonna mix ground beef and ground pork. I like to use ground pork because the ground pork helps to bring more flavor, helps to bring more moisture to ground beef. It just makes it better. To me, it does. So I like to mix them both. We're also going to be using breadcrumbs. You can use any type of breadcrumbs you want. You can use Ritz crackers and just mash them if you want to. I have even made it with quinoa, just 1 cup of quinoa. You cook your quinoa first and then you put it in. It works perfectly and it gives it a little bit more texture. It's delicious. But we're going to be using regular breadcrumbs. We're going to start, put in our bowl the meats. One bouillon, beef bouillon. If you have regular powder bouillons, you can use regular powder bouillon. I have the little squares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it and make it into powder. And then I'm going to sprinkle it. And then we're going to add 2 eggs. Thank you. Now we take our meat, put it in a container. And what you want to do is you want to give it a shape, but you also want to make sure that all the onions and the peppers are inside of the meat. And you want to make it look pretty. So you're going to bake your meatloaf for 25 minutes, 350. In the meantime, we're going to make the sauce that we're going to put on top of the meatloaf. This is a 2-time process. So we're going to bake it, we're going to take it out, put the sauce, and then we're going to bake it some more with the sauce. 25 minutes have passed and the meatloaf is ready to come out of the oven. And then we're going to put the sauce. Let's take it out. It's beautiful. Look at that beautiful brown. It's gonna be awesome. Now we're gonna mix the sauce. We're gonna put ketchup. I'm gonna put the brown sugar. Try to break all the lumps on the sugar. It's gonna melt, but it still would be nice not to have big chunks. Dijon mustard. Balsamic vinegar. Try to get good quality balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is really delicious, but sometimes you get low quality balsamic vinegar and they cut it with other stuff and it's not as good. And water. And now we mix. And now that it's mixed, we're gonna put it on top of the meatloaf. Just make sure you cover all of the meatloaf in the top and then slowly cover it so it covers the sides too. It's almost like if you were doing a cake. We have it covered. And now back to the oven for 30 minutes at 350. Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes.
Second timer, 30 minutes, starting now.
I got a message from one of our viewers, and she was concerned about cutting meat with bones, especially chicken, because she's like, you're strong, you can break it, but I cannot hit the knife like that and break the bone. What you need to do is go to the hardware store and get a relatively big rubber mallet and keep it in the kitchen. What you do is you put your knife on top of the piece of meat that you want to cut and hit it with your mallet. The mallet, because it's rubber, is not gonna hurt your knife and it's gonna do all the pressure for you. You don't have to use your hands. Everything is better with wine. Another viewer wrote and said, you know what? I know you tried to sell us the brown rice as delicious. I still don't like it. Can I still make it white rice? Is it the same way? Well, not exactly. White rice doesn't have all the extra fiber that brown rice has, so it doesn't need as much water. So when you make a cup of white rice, you're gonna use only 2 cups of water. While in the brown rice, you're gonna use 2 1/4 to 2 1/2. Also, white rice is gonna cook faster than brown rice. Usually, white rice you can cook around ½ hour. Brown rice is gonna take between 45 minutes to 55 minutes. So that is the difference. You can still make your white rice. It's very easy to make. Just brown rice to me tastes better. Thank you for your messages, and please go to our Facebook page, Spice and Advice, and send me more questions. I love to tell people what to do. More wine. Life is good. Alexa went off telling us that the meatloaf is ready. Let's take it out of the oven. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is beautiful. It smells so good. And there you have it, delicious meatloaf, savory with a little bit of sweet. It's a perfect combination. Make it with mashed potatoes, you are going to love it. You can have it with rice or with on the other side that you want, but with mashed potatoes, you are going to love it. And that's it for this episode. Please click the like and subscribe to the channel so you can continue seeing all the recipes that we're going to be making in the future. And please click on the bell so you can get notifications every time we have a new video. This is Victor with spicegnome.com, and thank you for watching Spice and Advice.